Mrs. Bank for $2,036.50 that you spent on a vacation with them that you had to abruptly leave thanks to their behavior.
Yes,
all right, let me hear which one of the two of you wants to speak first. All right, talk to me. So how long had you known each other?
We've known each other just for a few years. We're neighbors.
Okay.
And they took us on this vacation under false pretenses.
Well, so you've known each other for a few years, and would you socialize?
Yeah, we were friendly. We went to block parties. We got to know them. We became friends. You know,
whose idea was the vacation?
The Bankses invited us.
All right, and was this, where did you guys go?
We went to Lake Arrowhead.
And what, rented a house?
Yeah, we actually decided to split a vacation rental, 50-50.
Okay. And so before you got there, you had shelled out the $2,036.50?
We paid him, correct, and through Venmo.
And how long was the stay going to be?
A week.
Okay. Had you ever traveled with them before?
No, first time. I mean, we decided to do this just to get to know them more and enjoy our time.
Wow, when you go big. Like I don't want to travel with people I do know really well. I certainly don't want to travel to get to know them really well. But in any event, so you guys go, and tell me about the trip. The first day, how does it go?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It was lovely. It was nice. We get there. We check in around noon. We brought our food in. We sat down. Around dinner time, we started drinking and eating, having laughter and fun. And that's when things kind of went a little haywire.
What went haywire?
Yeah, so we were there having a great time, joking, you know, kind of the way we've done at the parties that we've been to on the block. And they throw out the idea like, hey, we should swing. And they introduced this, and we were a little bit taken aback. We looked at each other briefly, and we're a little bit abhorred by it.
Hold on one second. And so what did you say?
At first I was like, okay, but then I didn't take it seriously. I took it as a joke. We're all drinking, so I was like, okay, they're jokingly.
So exactly what was your reaction is my question.
We kind of took it as a joke, and we sort of responded jokingly. So you decided
to play it off as a joke because that would be less awkward.
I didn't really want to make them feel comfortable either. Like, yeah, just laugh it off.
We were going into dinner. We wanted to have an enjoyable time.
Yeah.
All right. Did you think who was the one who said it? He did or she did?
Jessie did.
Okay, and Jessie is? Okay, so she says that, and then what?
Well,
you go to dinner?
No, I wasn't shocked, and then just looked at my husband, and then we looked back at them, and I laughed it off as a joke.
Okay, I got it.
We enjoyed dinner, and then
you enjoyed dinner, and then what?
After dinner, you know, we were cleaning up, and they decided to go off to bed, and so they actually went upstairs where the rooms were.
Yeah.
There's how many bedrooms here?
There's 3 bedrooms. They were in the master bedroom. We had the smaller room, which is
across the hall.
Exactly.
Okay. You guys go upstairs, and what do you see, Mr. Hill?
So we go into our room. Their bedroom was down the hall. We go into our room.
Is their door closed, or you haven't approached their door yet?
We hadn't approached their door. We just were going off to bed.
Okay.
You know, we said goodnight, basically, and we were going to sleep.
You go upstairs, and what do you see?
So we see her in a negligee sitting on the bed.
On your bed?
Our bed.
Our bed.
Our bedroom.
Right.
Waiting for us.
Yeah, this was highly unexpected. I thought that was a mistake. I wasn't sure what was going on. And then Greg walks in butt naked right into our room, to the shock of my wife and myself. We were totally surprised. We were not expecting this. After a joking conversation and a great dinner, we were having some drinks, but this was extreme.
What'd you do?
My husband was angry. I wasn't shocked because my husband's the only man I've seen for 20 years naked in front of me. So I was like, what's going on here?
What'd you say? What did you do?
We told them to get out.
Okay,
we're like, we don't want them in our room.
So you tell them, get out, and what do? They
did get up off the bed. Jessie got off the bed fast. Greg started.
Did they look embarrassed?
Yes and no, but they were like, they apologized, and they thought, well, they were like acting like they thought we were going to be into it, and they said, we're sorry that we didn't mean to do this to you, but we're like, it was just everything happening at once.
So what'd you end up doing? Did you leave in the morning?
We left in the morning, yes.
And you want your money back?
We want our money back, yeah.
Okay.
Coming up, on Justice for the People.
I mean, I'm giving you advice on how to swing. It feels so unnatural. Let's just talk about contracts, all right?
And later,
We went to do the routine, and I want to start off by saying his routine was whack. There's no way that we were going to win with what he showed her.
Okay.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want
He said, let's take it to the
They
next
said
level.
that, yes, we were just kind of very flirty. They were touching kind of a little
It's
bit more, you know,
compliments.
than usual, on the hands and that kind of stuff. And honestly, we were on vacation. They were excited about being there with us. We talked a lot about just that we were going to enjoy this time together,
You know,
get to know each
other
other
people
better.
might enjoy it without, having an orgy. Like,
Yeah.
in other words,
We're
so
not having
far,
orgies, though.
well, it's kind of an orgy, isn't it? Like all
it's-
four of you together?
We just kind of, we can mix and change.
It's adult playtime.
Adult
I thought that's
playtime.
what orgy meant. What does orgy mean?
Orgies involve maybe a lot of more people and that kind of
What's the
thing.
minimum for an orgy?
That I don't know.
Good Lord. I think I've seen everything and then I haven't. It would seem to me that it would behoove you to be really explicit with people before you pop up naked or semi-naked in their bedroom. Like, you would think there would be a little more discussion about this. And it's important what I'm saying, because if I'm right and you clearly read it wrong and you clearly, this was not consenting adults. Let's assume then that someone shows up, I'm on vacation with somebody and they show up naked in front of me. Am I going to stay on that vacation? Of course I'm not.
But we were very clear about, we're sorry, no big deal,
Hey,
everything's
no, but the
okay.
bad thing happened. Oh, who's gonna, and what? And they're just supposed to pretend it didn't happen?
I was really hoping for a conversation. They left abruptly. They
You
just
were
let-
hoping for something more than a conversation, Toots.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
I mean, I'm giving you advice on how to swing. It feels so unnatural. Let's just talk about contracts, all right? If you think that something's on the table for somebody, you better be darn sure that you have a meeting of the minds on this, because otherwise you've ruined the vacation, and they would be entitled to pull out because this is not what they had in mind.
was
You
not
see,
our intention.
they end up. It may not have been your intention. It doesn't matter. I believe 100%. That you believed that the four of you were all going to have sex
Truly.
together that night.
Yeah.
Yes.
That doesn't matter. You keep thinking that that's a defense. If I go on vacation with you and then you do something really, like you pull out LSD, all right, that wasn't on the table. I didn't consent to that. If I go on vacation with you and your husband prances around naked in front of me, I did not consent to that. That is not what I had in mind. So the issue was the conduct on your part egregious enough that they have a right to pull out. Even if it wasn't your intent, and I believe I think you misread the cues colossally. And I think that this should not be the kind of thing that we rely on cue taking for. Cue taking can be in the initial part, but there better be some explicit agreement to things besides we're gonna have fun. Because I gotta tell you, I'm 62 years old, I've been having a lot of fun. And this has never come up. And not one person I said, oh, we're going to party today, we're going to have fun. Not one of them ended up naked with their pelotas in front of me. That has never happened. Verdict for the plaintiffs, $2,036.50.
All rise.
Judge Millian has ruled in favor of the co-plaintiffs. The co-defendants owe $2,036.50.
We're just so happy that our judge agreed with us.
Honestly, I'm shocked. I have notes and text messages from Kathy. I really wish I had shown these sooner.
Coming up,
It was a gift.
So why'd you pocket so much of it? How much did you give Melody?
$50.
closed captioning. Kyle Pratt claims his daughter needed a partner for a dance contest and says his brother stepped in but kept the prize money. Richard Pratt says he came up with the winning routine and gave his niece $50 for her participation.
All right, Mr. Pratt, you are suing your brother for $325 because you say he owes you half of the winnings from a dance competition. Tell me what happened here.
Yes, I signed myself and my daughter up to a dance competition, a talent show. And
Was it the first one you were... How old are you, honey?
I'm 7.
Okay. And was it the first one that you were doing with her, or had you done it before?
Yeah, no, it's our first one, amateur.
Okay. And was it a daddy-daughter thing, or you just happened to be daddy-daughter?
Yeah, daddy-daughter.
Okay.
And I had my brother stand in for me because I wasn't able to make it.
Okay.
To the
How
actual
long
performance.
before the event did you ask your brother to stand in for you?
I gave him about a week.
Okay.
And he had no problem taking over for me.
Okay.
So.
And then what happens? You go to do the routine, and what?
We went to do the routine, and I want to start off by saying his routine was whack. There's no way that we were going to win with what he showed her.
Okay.
So I had to go from scratch. I had to dig deep. I had to go to YouTube. I had to go through TikTok. I had to find something because it would have been embarrassing. I should be suing them.
Okay, so slow down. Let's take a step back. You're asked a week before, and then how many times do you meet with Melody? Is your name, darling? Mm-hmm. Okay, how many times do you meet with Melody?
Well, I was just supposed to see it, but after I saw it, we met every day.
Okay.
Every day.
Coming up,
Are you mad at your uncle? Do you think that was unfair, or no?
I did agree to it.
closed captioning program. We're back with the case of Kyle Pratt, who brought Richard Pratt to court for cheating his niece out of hundreds of dollars.
Was prize money ever discussed between you and your brother?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't really remember. I just thought I was stepping up being Superman because I know my brother loves his kids and he couldn't make it, so I figured I would just show up.
Okay, but then Superman, you won, right?
Oh, we won.
And you kept the prize money, other than $50 that you gave Melody. So let's talk Superman about, what the issue is, which is, according to you, you changed the routine a lot?
A lot.
All right. And so, did you expect to win when you saw everybody else dancing?
Judge, yes, of course, of course.
All right, so when you win, it wasn't a big surprise. How much was the prize money?
$750. Now, I don't think I knew that. I thought I was helping, and then when there was money, it was a gift.
So why'd you pocket so much of it? How much did you give Melody?
$50.
Okay, well, wasn't Melody half the team?
Define half.
There's two, and she's one.
I mean, okay.
It's daddy-daughter, and she's the daughter part of the daddy-daughter.
Okay, yeah.
It takes two to tango. How many other ways do you want me to do this?
With my moves, though, I'm David Ruffin, and she was the Temptations, okay?
Are you prepared to show me your moves?
I didn't.
Okay, because you brag a lot. Are you prepared to show me your moves?
Yes, actually, I don't think there's anything wrong with our performance. He's a bit of a show-off. But
Okay.
You want to show her what we were doing? I brought my drum here, actually, and she could show you. Come on, sit down. Sit down. All right, just a little bit of what we were going to do at the performance.
Adorable. Okay.
All right, thank you. Come on.
Judge Million's verdict when justice for the people returns. Promotional consideration.
How do you win a prize that you weren't even expecting and then not literally split it in half with that side when they're half the side that won the prize? Because really, she's super cute. So I gotta imagine she had something to do with the win. How do you not split it? How much was the whole win?
$750.
How much did you give her?
$50.
Melody, let me ask you a question. Are you just here because the grown-ups made you come? How do you feel about this? Are you mad at your uncle? Do you think that was unfair, or no?
I did agree to it.
Yeah, but did you know how much? Well, first of all, I'm sure $50 to you was $50 to me would be a lot of money too. But did you know how much money the prize money was, or no?
No.
No. Okay, well, lucky for you, Melody, I'm one of the grown-ups in the room, and I am going to do what should have been done that night, which is that she should get half of the money. She was half of the team. And so I am going to order you've already paid her $50, so I'm going to order you to pay the additional $325 that the plaintiff is suing for. Verdict for the plaintiffs.
All rise.
Judge Million has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $325. Tracy Huntley claims she got kicked out of her tennis club because of her playful banter. Miles Devine says Miss Huntley should have played more tennis and talked less trash if she wanted to stay.
Okay, Ms. Huntley, you are suing Mr. Devine to have your money returned from a tennis club that you joined of his because you got kicked out. Tell me what happened.
That is correct, Your Honor. I joined Mr. Devine's tennis club, and he kicked me out without a valid reason.
All right, so how did you decide to join the tennis club?
Well, Your Honor, I was at a local park after the pandemic. I was without a full-time job. I was working part-time. I didn't have much of a social life.
Okay.
Then I met a woman named Sarah at the park.
Okay.
I played a few games of tennis with her, and she suggested I join Miles's tennis club.
All right, have you been playing tennis all your life?
No, actually, only when I was a kid, but only recently did I start again. I was terrible, but I decided to join either way.
Okay.
And so I went and I signed up for his tennis club. And when I first met him, he was very polite, very respectable. And the club seemed like a great place to join.
All right, so you joined the club, and how does it go?
At first, I was a little shy. You know, I wasn't used to.
Is that your general nature?
Yeah, I used to be very shy, but as time went on, I got better at the sport, and I became more social. I came out of my shell, as you could say.
So it was good for you?
It was good for me. It was great. I considered it my therapy.
All right, and how long were you in the club before you were thrown out?
7 months.
All right, so what was the problem, do you think?
Well, he said that I wasn't acting very appropriate, but I thought it was just, you know, playful banter.
So what were you referring to, Mr. Devine? Tell me what she did wrong.
Well, she was great at first. She was very shy. When she came to look at the club, she didn't say hardly anything. And I didn't even think that she was...
Is that what makes a client great, when they don't say a word?
Oh, no. I mean, she was...
When did she become a problem? What was the first thing that happened that, in your estimation, made her a problem?
After she'd been there, she actually came. I didn't think she'd come a lot, but she did, and she showed up like 4 times a week, and she went from a 3.0 to a 3.5 on, you know, on the scale, and she really improved a lot over the next... 2, 3, 4 months, and then we have a little tournament every Saturday. And so first time she finally won a tournament on a Saturday. So I was glad for her. But something happened after she won the first tournament, and her attitude shifted. And,
how so?
Well, she started calling out the other players, like, how could you miss that? Oh my God. You know, you should have done this. You know, when she would ace someone, said, you know, I aced you, you know.
I'm not a tennis player. What does ace mean?
Ace means when you serve and they just can't even return.
Okay.
You know, you just bam.
And then she would say, "Ha, I aced you."
Yeah, it was just this kind of like, you know.
She was smack talking.
Yeah, it was like talking smack.
Do the other tennis players smack talk?
No, it's a really very congenial club. It's not a fancy club. It's just I just wanted a place where people could come and practice their game and learn.
So the first time she does that, how do you find out about it? You're hearing it with your own ears, or people complain?
Yeah, I was always at every tournament, so I could hear it. And actually, anytime she did it, I was around because I'm there practically every day.
Did you ever say anything to her about it or give her any warning?
Well, at first, I was hoping maybe it would just kind of like go away. But it kept happening, and then at dinners, we'd have, you know, on Saturdays, we'd have dinner, maybe order it out, bring it in, have an area for us for that, or go to a restaurant. And she just was, you know, disruptive at dinners, like, I'm better than Serena Williams if I'd had the right coach.
Obviously, that was a joke, Your Honor.
That sounds like a joke.
It was a big joke. Obviously, I'm not Serena Williams.
What else did she do at dinners?
Just really pointing out what other people could have done better, like, you know, just
Okay, so here's my question to you. How do you deal with it then? What did you do to deal with it?
Well, I sent her an email first.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be official, you know, have a record. And I said, look, you know, you're making people uncomfortable. I really need you to kind of modify your behavior and be a little more thoughtful.
Did you
with
also
others."
talk to her one-on-one or no?
I did. Like, first I sent the email and it didn't seem to change things. So then I talked to her in person. I said, look, I don't understand do you not understand what I was talking about in the email?
Coming up on Justice for the People.
Did you know what he was referring to?
I did not know what he
Well, then
never
if you don't know what he's
specified.
referring you to, and you love this club, and it's your therapy, why wouldn't you then say, tell me what I did wrong, tell me what I need to modify?
This is Justice for the People with Judge Millian. We're back with the case of Tracy Huntley, who brought Miles Devine to court for kicking her out of his tennis club.
Did you point out to her that there's a rule that says that everybody has to be respectful and nobody can be disrespectful?
Oh, absolutely. We have the rule is be respectful toward other members. That's
Okay.
part of the rule.
So you sent her an email and you talked to her in person. How many emails did you end up sending her?
I sent her another email, after that because it just wasn't changing. And I was getting texts from other members that were just like, this is so disruptive. And this
Well,
is...
were any of the other members saying stop being a jerk to her? Or?
No.
Like, was anybody saying to her, was anybody else? Everybody was just expecting you to intervene? Nobody actually said something to her?
Yeah, nobody wanted to confront her directly, no.
Did you get the impression that you were making people uncomfortable?
No, Your Honor. I actually thought I was making friends at this place.
Right, but he did warn you.
He did warn me, but
And then what did you do with the warning that you received in that email? Let me see the emails that you sent her.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've been getting many complaints from other members of the tennis club that you've been talking smack to everyone. This violates rule number 6. Be respectful toward the others. Please note this is your first warning. This would panic me if I got that. Like, my first reaction would be, oh my gosh, what did I do that offended somebody I didn't mean to do? And so did you pick up the phone and call him when you received this?
No, Your Honor, but
Okay.
I did read it. Yes, I did
Okay,
see
well,
it.
when you read it, did you know what he was referring to?
I did not know what he
Well, then
never
if you don't know what he's
specified.
referring you to, and you love this club and it's your therapy, why wouldn't you then say, tell me what I did wrong, tell me what I need to modify?
I just didn't think it was that big of a deal.
Okay. Then he sends you another email. How much later is the second email?
Not very long, a couple
I don't know what that means. How much later?
I know. It was like a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still getting complaints from members of the tennis club that you haven't stopped talking smack. You have violated rules number 6 again. One more warning and you're out of the tennis club. Is it true that you were saying the things that he says you were saying? Like, I aced you after you would ace somebody right on the court?
Oh,
And
she's like, kiss my ace.
kiss my ace?
Yeah.
Really?
It was a joke. I mean, obviously
Okay,
the way
I know whether a joke is falling flat if I don't see people laughing. Like, how were people reacting, do you think?
Well, I thought they were taking it as a joke. Maybe I'm not a comedian, but I would assume that.
No, but I'm saying, like, could you tell whether you made that person feel uncomfortable?
I couldn't tell, no.
Okay, all right. And nobody was saying anything to you?
No one was saying anything to me. That's why I was so
When you got the
confused.
second email a few weeks later, this is a club that you love and you love doing what you're doing. Do you then call him up and say, please tell me what you think I did wrong?
No, I was a little too shy to say that.
Well, that's not a little shy. Listen, there's shy and then there's shy. This is foolish. It's not shy. You're an adult living in an adult world.
Yeah.
So you need to actually say, what do you think I'm doing? What does this mean? Let's talk about this. That's just, I'm not asking you to sing karaoke. I'm asking you to communicate, because you are a member of this club, and he is not just saying, hey, you were rude. He's saying, this is your second warning. You're violating a rule, so something's going to happen. This should not come as a huge surprise to you. And then there's a third email, and according to him, he talked to you. Did he talk to you?
At one point, yes.
And what did he say to you?
He said, I don't appreciate your behavior at the club. Other members are complaining to you, but he never specified exactly what.
Well, did you ask him to specify? Because I think you both know what he's talking about if nobody has to specify. I'm the only one who needs specification here.
Well,
I'm the one who had to ask exactly what was she saying.
Well, yeah, I did say kiss my
Did you
ace.
say you were better than everybody else at that club?
She did.
Okay. What else did she say? Who's the lady behind you?
Oh, she's also a member.
Can I approach you?
Yes, please.
My name is Elena Martinez. I've been with the club for about 5 years now. And when I met Tracy, she was amazing. She was really shy, as she stated. She was...
Why does everybody think it's so amazing to be shy? It's painful to be shy.
Well, because she was...
But everybody only likes to just keep your mouth shut and everything's fine.
No, and I don't mean that, Your Honor. I mean, she was likable. She was shy, so you wanted to befriend her and pull her out of her shell, and that's what I did. I befriended her, pulled her out of her shell. We played a couple rounds of tennis, and we had fun. And it wasn't until she won her first tournament that it kind of went to her head. And after that, she went from ranking 3.0 to a 3.5. And after that, it just completely went downhill.
What kinds of things would she say?
So, for instance, she was on the court, and if you didn't serve correctly, she'd be like, "Oh, kiss my ace." But she's saying she said it in a friendly. Nobody thought it was funny.
Yeah, I got a feeling this was like a little lesson for you in social interaction, maybe.
Maybe.
If you're truly all that painfully shy and you're thinking that will make you friends and influence people, it seems like to have rubbed people the wrong way. Mr. Devine warned you a couple of times.
Yes,
right?
he did. But let me just say that in the contract, there was never any mention of termination.
Coming up.
He's a very soft-spoken man, so I felt like he maybe even tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, even when girls had come to him and say, "Hey, she's kind of being disruptive, she's being a little arrogant, maybe a little obnoxious, and that's just not showing team sport."
This is Justice for the People with Judge Millian. We're back with the case of Tracy Huntley, who brought Miles Devine to court for kicking her out of his tennis club.
Now, here's what I don't get. Why aren't you stopping the behavior if it's happening right in front of you, Mr. Devine? Like, it's happening right in front of you. Why are we waiting for email communications? Why don't you call her on it right on the spot?
Well, you know, it's embarrassing for everyone. And I mean, I thought it was better to tell her privately, to take her aside.
But you didn't. You sent an email.
Well, I sent an email first, and that didn't work. So then I talked to her privately, but I didn't want to make it any worse than it was.
All right, so go on, Ms. Martinez.
So he's a very soft-spoken man, so I felt like he maybe even tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, even when girls had come to him and say, "Hey, she's kind of being disruptive, she's being a little arrogant, maybe a little obnoxious," and that's just not showing team sport. Our team is not like that at all. We're very jokey with each other, but in her case, it was almost disrespectful because she came in kind of out as the outsider.
Are any of you guys just saying to her, "Hey, that's not funny"?
No one said that to me.
Okay, hold
I
on.
did.
I'm talking to her.
I did.
What did you say to her?
I did. I said, "I think it's inappropriate how you're saying jokes. No one's laughing."
And what did she say?
And
to
she
you?
said, "I find it very funny." And she walked off.
Okay.
So to me, it's disrespectful. You're not saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just that's my sense of humor." Then I would have said, "Oh, okay, that's fine. You know, we all joke like that." But we weren't friends. She was kind of initiating herself in, and I didn't think that was the appropriate way to come into a club where we're great friends and you're kind of on the outside, and now you're trying to come into that. That's not a way to come into a friendship or yet a sportsmanship. So we were taken back by that.
Mr. Devine, let me ask you a question. When you say we, how many other people are in this club?
I have 200 members now.
All right, and when you, Ms. Martinez, say we, you're thinking about a group of how many women that are friends?
There's about 10 or 15 of us that are super close that she was trying to initiate into that.
Coming up.
I believe for the disrespect that he treated me with.
Disrespect he treated you with?
Yes. I believe
I aced you. What was it? What was it?
Kiss my ace, Your Honor.
Kiss my ace. Disrespect he treated you with. That's rich.
Closed captioning. Probus for the People with Judge Millian. We're back with the case of Tracy Huntley, who brought Miles Devine to court for kicking her out of his tennis club.
Do you have a copy of the contract?
I do.
Can I? Let's see. Actually, I'd like to have it from both of you and make sure I'm looking at the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm looking at the contract, and in the contract it says all participants must abide by the club rules at all times. Do you ever? She's just pointed out that nowhere in the contract does it say, and if you don't, you will your membership could be canceled. You should really have that in there.
Now I know.
Yeah. Because most contracts for club sports like that have it in there. They'll say, even for kids or for adults, that say, if you violate the rules, your money is non-refundable, and we can both things. both things.
Right.
One, you can get kicked out. Two, your money will be non-refundable. If you had her signature on such a contract, this case would be over already. So let's assume for a moment that I find that she's violating the rules. She would have to have agreed with you on what consequence there is. Now, it's $650 for the whole year?
Yes.
Why should you get all of your money back for the whole year, Ms. Huntley?
Because as stated, there was no termination mentioned in the contract.
But why the whole year? You ended up practicing and playing and having fun for 7 months out of the year, right?
Well, I believe for the disrespect that he treated me with.
Disrespect he treated you with?
Yes. I believe I was
aced you. What was it? What was it?
Kiss my ace, Your Honor.
Kiss my ace. Disrespect he treated you with. That's rich.
Judge Million's verdict when justice for the people returns. The People with Judge Million.
I think he has a right to throw you out, but I don't think you have a right to keep the unearned portion of her membership. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to award you, round it up to the dollar, it's about $271, which is the rest of your membership. And I highly advise that you put two things in there. One, you will be kicked out if you violate the rules, because then people will follow the rules. And two, you will not get any of your money back, because I assume your budget is based on what's already been paid. So, but that's what you should do. Verdict for the plaintiff, $271. And have you been able to join another tennis club?
No, actually, after this whole ordeal, the rumor got out that I was not a very good member.
That wasn't me, Your Honor. That's
well, no, you run the risk that 200 people are going to be talking smack about you then, right? But, you know, maybe you approach, you know, another club and you say, I've learned what, you know, Judge Million taught me what was what.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, maybe give me a chance. You'll see how much better I am. I mean, there should be some redemption, right? Good luck, folks.
Judge Million has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $271.
Well, I'm glad I got something, but I hope Miles learns from this, and hopefully it goes better next time.
To expect all the money back was definitely wrong. And I just hope that she finds a way to amend her behavior and have a better life.
Girlfriend didn't ask before she sold a handcrafted quilt given to both of them as a gift. Victoria Groff says the quilt was a constant reminder of her painful breakup with Miss Robles.
Ms. Robles, you are suing Ms. Groff for $2,000 that you feel is owed to you because she sold an artistic quilt without your permission. All right. Tell me what's going on.
Okay. If you can, please allow me to go back to the beginning.
Sure.
6 years ago, I met my ex, Victoria, online through an online dating website, and immediately we hit it off, fell in love, moved in with each other, and started building a life together. Unfortunately, it was a life that I felt like was kind of a lie, not towards her, but just kind of in general. 2.5 years into our relationship, I came out as a woman, as transgender.
Okay.
I began my transition then. Originally, she was very supportive, but eventually she did hit her breaking point. A year and a half after that, she sat me down and said that she loved me, but she was a straight woman, and because I am a woman, it just wouldn't work out.
So she stuck around for a year and a half?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys were together for how long?
Overall, 6 years.
Wow. Okay, so go on.
So both of us were devastated, but I respected her decision, and we decided to break up. She moved out of the apartment. During that process, I tried to give her as much space as possible and as much support as I possibly could.
Because I imagine that after all those years together, that there's a lot of joint assets in the apartment. How did you guys split everything up? You just decided you take this, I'll take that. How did it go?
Exactly. I pretty much tried to set everything up to where she was set up for her new apartment. So the bed, the couch that both of us spent both of our joint monies together for, various essentials like that. And then also some sentimental stuff like pieces of art, other important belongings to us. We kind of split it up, but I made sure that she had all the bare necessities needed so she didn't have to go out and spend so much money for.
Okay.
And during this time, while she was moving out, getting her belongings out, I moved in with my parents to give her that space so there wasn't that emotional baggage. And that also allowed me to kind of, reconnect with my family after so long of the transition.
Okay.
So 6 weeks after that, I finally moved back into my apartment and kind of started to rearrange everything. And that's when I noticed this quilt was missing. And when
before you leave to give her space, I mean, there has to be some discussion about
Yes.
you take this, I take that. Was there no discussion on the quilt?
Unfortunately not. It was in a kind of a wicker box underneath the TV where we kept all of our blankets.
Okay.
And this was a quilt that we did use, but it had very much sentimental value.
Tell me about the quilt.
Okay. It was a hand-stitched quilt from my mom, who's an amazing artist. She makes quilts like these for galleries, for charity auctions. These go up for $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. I mean, these are very high value.
Do you have
quilts.
a picture of the quilt?
Yes, I do. So this quilt, again,
can you get that up there?
a very high value quilt. Over 200 hours went into making this quilt. And as you can see, it basically symbolizes us. This was a gift to us for our 2 years anniversary. So
this is amazing.
Yes. So this was the quality and the value that goes into all of these quilts. Why they
So
give
how
so
is this
much.
something that you guys did not discuss? I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out.
It just didn't really get brought up when we were going through our things. I mean, we talked about a lot of the things, but we weren't necessarily doing,
So
like,
you didn't, I
lists
guess
or-
when you left, you didn't mind that she just make decisions? Like, because if you left, I'm just wondering, this can't be the only thing that wasn't discussed. There have to have been a lot of stuff that wasn't discussed and that you just decided to take.
I mean, I didn't necessarily just decide to take it. It was just one of the things that came with me. I mean, we had a basket full of blankets, and I took a blanket out of it, which was gifted to us, which is the quilt.
Who was it gifted to?
Both of us.
Right.
It was a joint gift.
And was there any discussion before you took it?
No.
Coming up on Justice for the People.
Did it bother you to look at it?
Yeah, it was definitely triggering to look at it because it didn't represent, I mean, it represented a couple us that doesn't really exist anymore.
And later.
What happened?
I did take the course.
How
but
many
I dropped
classes
out.
was the entire course?
The course was 6 weeks, but I dropped out on the last week.
On the last week?
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1 with Judge Milian. We're back with the case of Jamie Robles, who blames her ex-girlfriend, Victoria Groff, for selling a sentimental quilt.
You ended up selling it.
Yes, I did.
Why?
I sold it. I took it. It was a representation of our relationship. And after we broke up, I think we were both pretty devastated. And I realized kind of like having it, just looking at it, just kind of reminded me of what happened and what I didn't have anymore. So that's when I decided that it hurt too much to have it and I wanted to sell it. I didn't think that Jamie would want it until later I discovered that there was issue with
Even
that.
though there's such a sentimental value to this quilt, because again, it's not your quilt, it is...
Talk to me, please. The time for the two of you to talk to each other has ended. Did it bother you to look at it?
Yeah, it was definitely triggering to look at it because it didn't represent, I mean, it represented a couple us that doesn't really exist anymore.
You sold it for $2 grand.
Yes.
And when you find out that first you ask her, hey, where's the quilt? How did that go down? Do you have the text?
Yes, I do
Let
have
me
the
see
text
that.
message. So 6 weeks after the fact, I was finally getting around to rearranging my apartment, after all the emotional baggage. Went to look for it, and it wasn't there. So I figured that...
Hey, long time no talk. I was just talking to my mom, and she was wondering where you decided to keep the quilt in your new pad. So you didn't have a problem with her having the quilt. You had a problem with her selling the quilt.
Exactly, because...
I'm assuming you took it. Okay, so you didn't have an agreement to take the quilt, which you've admitted. You just kind of took it.
Yeah.
Are there other things you took without consent, like, that belong to both of you?
No, I think there's a few like little decor items or like candles, like
But they're
random
not an
things
issue.
like that,
I'm
but
assuming you
no.
took it because I can't find it anywhere. Look, Jamie, I know your mom put a lot of effort into this piece of art, but I sold it to help cover moving expenses. To which Jamie replies, I didn't realize you were struggling financially. I could have helped you out. How much did you sell it for? $2K. My mom made that for us. If I would have known you were selling something of ours, I would have wanted to keep the quilt. To which you say, look, I can give you half the money I earned if it's about the money. And the response is, it's about the principle. Jamie, to be honest, this was from you. Jamie, to be honest, seeing it every day was like a slap in the face. I had to move out, find a new apartment, blew all my savings because of the decisions you made greatly affected me. By the way, you understand that the decisions that Jamie made, Jamie had to make.
Yeah.
Jamie's decisions. All right. And blew, and I think that you were, you know, I mean, I think Jamie has testified that you were very supportive, but you also have a right to want what you want. Right. And blew all of my savings because of the decisions you made greatly affected me, and I was left to pick up the pieces of my shattered heart and broken life. I'm not giving you any of the money. Maybe it's a good thing we broke up. You're not the person I thought you were.
It's this, like I put down in that situation, it's not about the money for me. If it was about the money, we could have come to an agreement. If it was about the money for them or for her, I would have been more than willing to help them out because I gave them, again, the couch, the bed, make sure that they were set
Who's
up.
them? You keep saying them.
Her. I'm sorry.
That's her pronoun, or is there someone else?
It's
What's your pronoun?
She, her.
Okay.
And
all right,
that
we're
is-
good. All right. That's so nice. That would have been like the first thing I talked about during the split, because if these things go for the amounts that you're saying and not in a charity auction where everything goes for more than it should because it's charity, but if the value of it is so much, it's probably the most valuable asset that you guys have rather than a used bed and a used sofa. So it's something that should have been discussed. I don't think you had a right to just take it and do what you want with it because you're out. You're implying that Ms. Robles would have some legal obligation to pay for your move, and there is no such legal obligation. No. She keeps saying that, you know, if you had told me, I would have helped you out. And that's nice, but there's no legal obligation. People break up all the time, and these are, you know, these are the wages of breaking up. They're the fruit of it. They're what happens. You know, there are expenses involved. There's heartache involved. That just is how it is. So that doesn't entitle you to keep the money that you sold it for entirely. It's a gift for both of you. At a minimum, she is entitled to half of that money.
That's
and
what I
really
offered her.
what you should have done is offered half of that money, but that's not really what you should have. Really what you should have done is talked about it. You should have talked about it, and you should have said, hey, listen, I took this, but I know this is ours, and we didn't talk about it, and it's a valuable asset, and what should we do? And then maybe if the answer is sell it, you know, she and her mom may would know where to market that, and so you would have actually ended up better off if you had been kind in this scenario rather than just taking it and selling it. As it is, you are suing for the entire amount. How is that fair for you to sue for the entire amount when it wasn't a gift just for you, it was a gift for both of you?
because I feel like in this specific situation, because I had no.
Right.
I had
and
no
so
choice in
you
it.
have a 50% ownership of it. That is the most ownership you have had, is the 50%. So I'm going to order Ms. Groff to pay you $1,000. That is my verdict for the plaintiff.
Judge Millian has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $1,000.
I'm sorry I had to come down like this, but you broke my heart for the very last time.
I hope this was worth it for you.
Coming up.
Why would you quit in the fifth week?
Your Honor, I wouldn't want that to follow me.
How's that going to follow you? This is not like, oh, I don't want to ruin my GPA for, college because I'm trying to go to medical school.
Gina Anderson claims her brother dropped out of the vocational course she paid for, so she wants her money back. Dennis Sanders says he was failing the class because his sister had him running errands instead of studying.
All right, Miss Anderson, you are suing your brother, Mr. Sanders, for $1,500 that you gave him specifically to take a course and he dropped out without telling you.
That is correct, Your Honor.
How did the two of you decide that you would pay $1,500 for a course in HVAC? Explain how that came about.
So our parents are married. My mom will call me and give me updates. Dad calls me and give me updates. Dad called and said, hey, you know, Gina, can you talk to your brother and see what's going on? I didn't want it to be just about that.
Whose idea was it to take a refrigeration, it was
his. I'm
ventilation, air conditioning, what's the other letter?
HVAC.
Okay. So whose idea was that? Was that something you were interested in?
It was something I was interested in at the time that I brought up to her at the time, Your Honor. While I was at our home, I was on the computer scrolling, and I saw that it was $1,500, mentioned it to her, Your Honor.
Okay, so you were the one who picked the course.
Yes.
You wanted to do the course. You presented to her that it cost $1,500, and she gave you the $1,500 to do the course.
Yes, Your Honor, but I wouldn't necessarily say I picked the course. It was just an idea.
That's not true, Your Honor. I need you to not interrupt. I'm sorry, what?
I said I wouldn't say I picked the course. I would just say I threw out an idea that seemed like something that I might want to do.
Then you threw out a number, and then she gave you the number, and what was the expectation between the two of you that you would do the course? What happened?
I did take the course.
How
but
many
I dropped
classes
out.
was the entire course?
The course was 6 weeks, but I dropped out on the last week.
On the last week?
On the last week. Well, Judge, let me tell you what's been going on. I didn't just drop out just to drop out willy-nilly. I dropped out because I had a pop quiz that I really didn't do so hot on. And
Did you study?
I did study. But in this time, though, Your Honor, I am helping her out with her kids. I am picking them up from practice. I'm dropping them off at school.
Was that something you always did?
No, Your Honor. It actually just started because
after she gave you the $1,500?
I feel like that's why.
Okay.
Coming up.
So one of you's lying because this isn't something that you have a difference of opinion on. Either he dropped off your kids 15 times or he dropped off your kids twice.
Closed captioning. Provide Judge Millian. We're back with a dispute between Gina Anderson and her brother, Dennis Sanders, over a promise to attend a vocation course.
How many times did that happen? Did she call you for help?
I would say at least 3 times each week.
Okay. 3 times each week?
Each week. In
okay,
those 6
so you
weeks.
mean 15 times? You do mean
15
that.
times.
All right. Did that happen? Yes or no?
That is absolutely wrong. I've asked him twice. I asked him the first week, at the end of that week, and then the following week. He only had to pick up my twins twice.
So one of you's lying because this isn't something that you have a difference of opinion on. Either he dropped off your kids 15 times or he dropped off your kids twice.
I have the proof within.
What proof do you have?
We had text messages about me being late picking up another time, or maybe she might not remember.
Well, I don't know. How many text messages do you have? If you have 15 text messages, I know how many times. Oh, it's one paper.
Definitely not enough for 15 messages.
Hey, where you at? You're supposed to take the kids to school. Sorry, sis, running late. Just got a lot going on. This is too much. Well, I need you here like you promised. Need you to get them after school, too. Well, that's 2 times in one day. So it can't be 2 times once one week and once another week. Why would you quit in the 5th week?
Your Honor, I wouldn't want that to follow me.
How's that going to follow you? This is not like, oh, I don't want to ruin my GPA for, college because I'm trying to go to medical school. If you had failed, do you think she'd be here suing you? At least you tried.
And that's why I don't.
But you failed and didn't even try to finish. And you're blaming her and picking up the kids for that instead of you and, I had to work harder.
Well, Your Honor, I'm happy you brought that point up because I agree. I feel that if I would have passed this class, would I have to give her the $1,500 back? No, I would not.
No, if you would have flunked it, you wouldn't have had to either. She is here because you bailed in the middle of it. That's what gives her a legal reason to be here.
Judge Millian's verdict when justice for the people returns. Promotional consideration for the people with Judge Millian.
She gives you money that is intended for a certain purpose, which is for you to conclude the course. So all you had to do was one thing, complete the course. But you literally bail on the course. That's the one thing you can't do. And then you do the only thing that might entitle her to her money back, which is, I don't feel like finishing. That's the only thing that entitles her to her money back, because that is the explicit contract the two of you undertook. I'll pay for the course. The course means you do the course.
Well, Your Honor, I didn't sign a contract.
It's a verbal contract.
Right.
Right. I'm going to order you to pay back the money. You made her waste $1,500, and now you're going to pay her back. So here's a commitment. You got to figure out how to get enough work so that you can pay her back the $1,500 because I am ruling in her favor. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Judge Millian has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $1,500, so the plaintiff is responsible for the bill.
Okay, Mr. Garcia, you are suing your former employer, Mr. Tucker, for $1,060 for unfairly firing you and reducing your paycheck. How long were you working for the defendant?
I was working for Mr. Tucker for 6 months.
Okay, and what kind of a place was it? It was a bar, a grill?
It's a bar, grill.
So what was your position?
I was a waiter.
Okay.
At the bar.
How was the place run, in your opinion?
Well, the place was understaffed, clearly. Okay. I used to work for him Friday to Sunday for 6 months. And then as a favor, I worked for him on Monday.
Favor?
Yeah. Okay, what do you mean by favor? You worked for free?
No, I did get paid.
But you weren't supposed to work?
I was not supposed to.
Okay,
yeah.
so you agreed to go ahead and work on your day off, and then
exactly.
What?
And it happened to be game day, so it was very busy, busier than normal, and I would say there was about 100 people there.
Okay, and what's the capacity of the place?
It fits 80 people,
okay.
I would say. So this Monday was over capacity because I was weaving myself around to navigate between tables.
All right, so something happened that evening that ended up getting you fired. Tell me about it.
Yes, so I recall having one of the tables that was sitting 8 people, and they skipped on a $400 bill.
Really?
Yep.
Did you know them?
I did not know them. Okay. I just knew
That's
one.
a lie.
Okay, I don't know whether you think this is some audience participation sport and that you get to just yell out whenever you don't like things, but that's not how this is going to go down. I will be with you in a second. I don't think, if you've ever watched me before, that you think that I'm going to rule without hearing you. I just can't hear you at the same time. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I do go to school part-time, and one of the guys sitting in that table is one of the people I know from campus.
Is he a friend of yours?
He's not a friend. He just walks around.
Have you ever socialized
campus.
with him?
Just a polite hi. And
okay, have you ever been? I'm sorry, I'm not going to tell you this a third time. I mean it.
Sorry. Yeah, so he's not my friend.
Okay, when I asked you if you socialized with him, that means do you go to parties with him? Do you go out to dinner with him? Do you do anything with him?
No, we don't go to parties together.
Okay.
No, I just see him around campus.
Okay, I got it. So then this party, how did that happen that they skipped out on you?
Well, it was an expensive bill. And I was serving drinks.
So
and
justified
food.
a dine and dash because it was expensive? I mean, so it was an expensive bill is the bad part. So, but you were serving drinks to them, and then how did 8 people get up and leave without getting charged? Because that's a lot of people. When it's 2 people, it's a little easier to sneak out.
I agree. Well, Mr. Tucker, in my opinion, is very cheap, and he had this place understaffed, and he could have hired security. There was only 4 of us on the floor, 4 waiters, and he clearly could have spent more money.
All right, now you bring that up to the manager, I presume, that night when you realized that it happened, right?
I actually talked to him, and he
you
yelled at
told
me on
him
the
this
spot.
is what happened, and then how quickly did he fire you? Did he fire you that same night?
He fired me on the spot. Yeah.
Okay, and what you're suing for today, just to understand your lawsuit, is what? Explain it to me.
I'm suing for $660 worth of pay for the following week that I was looking for a job.
Okay.
And also for the $400 that he deducted from my paycheck.
Okay, so did you deduct $400 from his paycheck?
Absolutely.
Okay, and he had been working for you for how long?
6 months.
All right, was he past the probationary period at your particular establishment?
We don't have an establishment.
You don't even have one. Okay, got it. So had this ever happened to him before?
No.
Why'd you fire him? Because this happened, or more than because this happened?
More than because this happened.
All right, talk to me.
Your Honor, he called me in the middle of the day, can I come and work an extra shift?
Oh, that was his idea, not yours?
That was his idea.
Okay.
I said, yes, we can always use extra help.
Have you had trouble getting people to work?
Absolutely. It's a small town, and it's hard to find good people to be waiters.
Coming up on Justice for the People.
But the thing is that what he doesn't understand is that we waiters, we make money through building relationships with our customers. So that's
Right.
why
Well, you didn't make a
I knew
big tip
people's-
on this one, did you?
And later,
And so I gave Mr. Dubois a call and asked him if he had any idea what this substance or what these bumps could be. And he said, oh yeah, I had a gelatin wrestling party.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6 with Judge Millian. We're back with the case of Luke Garcia, who brought Oscar Tucker to court for firing him and docking his paycheck.
It was a crowded night. We didn't expect it. It was snowing. We thought.
Wasn't there a game on TV?
Yeah, but we didn't think. We thought with the.
You thought the snow would.
I thought the snow was going to make people not come in.
Right.
And so, but we can always use extra help. We usually have 50 or more people at a time, but. These people, he spent an inordinate amount of time with them. He was hugging them. He was laughing with them.
You saw that with your
Yes.
eyes. Okay. Put your hand down.
It was so busy that I was out there on the floor, which I'm almost never on the floor. So I did get to see.
So you feel like they were friends of his and that he let them slide?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did you deduct $400 from his pay?
Yes.
If you were out there, how did you not see 8 people leave without paying?
I did see 8 people leave. I didn't know until
they
after
hadn't
they
paid.
left that they hadn't paid.
Does this happen a lot there?
Not often at all. In
Right.
fact, I've never had a bill of 400 of people leaving. Sometimes there's, one person who sneaks out or even a couple, but that happens, once every 4 months, 5 months. This hasn't happened, as far as I know, since he's worked there.
Okay. All right. Why would he have to? What is your reason for thinking that he has to pay you for?
Because this was.
I'm sorry, I wasn't talking.
I'm sorry.
What is the reason that you think he has to pay you your paycheck for the following week just because he fired you? Why would he have to pay your paycheck for the following week? Because you feel that the firing was unjustified?
For me, taking a week off, looking for a job, because I believe it was a wrongful termination.
Okay, so
I think it's unfair.
you believe that he wrongfully terminated you, that he had no cause to terminate you.
Yeah, absolutely, because it wasn't my fault. And one thing he doesn't understand is that
Okay, but hold on. Whether it was your fault or not, it happened, right?
It did happen.
Right. So, and you are, part of your job is to make sure people pay, right? Like, it may not have been intentional. He thinks it was intentional because he says he saw you hugging them. Were you hugging them?
Well, I did hug one person, Johnny, the guy who goes to school with me.
Uh-huh.
But the thing is that what he doesn't understand is that we waiters, we make money through building relationships with our customers. So that's
right.
why.
Well, you didn't make a big tip on this one, did you? No.
I did not. It was unfortunate.
So I don't think I have to decide whether or not he actually knew the group. I have to decide 2 things. I have to decide if it was a wrongful termination, because he's suing you for a week of pay because he says it was wrongful, and you're in a state where that matters. So tell me how it's not wrongful.
Your Honor, a waiter has 3 jobs. He's supposed to take the orders, deliver the orders, get the money.
Your Honor.
The most important part is get the money.
Your Honor, I was taking on additional
certainly from your perspective, I know, and that didn't happen. So why isn't that a reason to terminate you?
Well, I was taking on additional responsibilities.
It just doesn't
like
matter.
bussing
Why is it?
tables,
It doesn't
setting up the
matter. It
table.
doesn't matter. Like you're suggesting that he fired you for an illegitimate reason. It's not. It doesn't matter whether he has proof that you did it on purpose or doesn't. It is a good reason to fire someone if you think they did it on purpose, and it is also a good reason to fire someone if they cost you $400. Those are legitimate reasons. So I'm not going to order him to pay you your paycheck for the next time. That is not a wrongful termination. Now, on what legal authority do you end up deducting this $400 from his last paycheck?
Your Honor, this seemed like a scam to me. It doesn't seem like it. It was a scam. You call in and you ask for hours, then your friends show up and they skip out on the bill. I can't see how that's not suspicious.
They're not my friends.
Well, I mean, the one guy, can I ask you a question? This cost you your job. Did you ever call Johnny or whoever he was and tell him, dude, come back here and pay the bill?
Yeah, but he would only pay for one side of the 8 people.
Well, he knows that his entire group didn't pay. Maybe he should be collecting the bill and getting you your job back. I mean, it is a little sus. I'm just telling you. But I don't know that you have, and I don't know and I don't care whether you have proof, because you happen to live in a state that bans this practice. Completely. You can't even, first of all, do you have an employee handbook that you make people sign and, that says if someone skips out, I'm going to be responsible?
No.
Yeah, don't bother even. Because some states, a lot of states, if you have them sign that, then you can deduct it. You're not even in one of those states. You're in Montana, and Montana says we're not going to have this practice. So you cannot deduct what was the bill, $400 that you deducted? That you do have to give him back. But I do find that not collecting on a bill, even if it's completely innocent, and it's a $400 bill, is a legitimate reason for a business person to say, you can't be a waiter at my place anymore. So I am ruling in favor of the plaintiff, but only in the amount of the $400 that you deducted from his paycheck. You can't do that in your state. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Judge Millian has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $400.
He's greedy. He needs to pay me the money.
I'm glad that he's no longer working for me. That's all I can say.
Coming up.
How much gelatin do you bring in for a gelatin party?
We bought 100 kilograms.
Okay, and then you put them where?
We had like a little pool, a little plastic pool in the backyard.
Like a kiddie pool?
Yeah.
Carrie Bushman claims her tenant threw a gelatin wrestling match in her yard, which ruined the grass. Dylan Dubois says the lawn wasn't great to begin with, so he shouldn't have to pay for a new one.
Ms. Bushman, you are suing Mr. Dubois for $1,525 because he damaged your backyard with wrestling gelatin. Okay, I can't wait to hear this. Talk to me. Tell me what happened.
Yes, so Mr. Dubois was a tenant of mine in one of my properties that I rent out to college students, and actually was a really, really pleasant renter. Unfortunately, when the snow melted in the springtime, my tenants that are currently living there now gave me a call, and they were very concerned because there was these big bumps of moldy, jelly-like formations on the grass. And so I gave Mr. Dubois a call and asked him if he had any idea what this substance or what these bumps could be, and he said, oh yeah, I had a gelatin wrestling party,
okay,
and it must have not dissolved, like it was supposed to be biodegradable, and I guess it didn't dissolve as it should have.
Okay, do you have a picture of the way the yard
I do,
looked?
Your Honor.
Let's see it.
It's disgusting. It's an eyesore, but also no biohazard. It's toxic. There's mold.
Right, so what is a gelatin wrestling party?
It's kind of like a gathering of me and my friends. We decided to have a little tournament, kind of wrestling tournament.
Okay, so how many people went to your party?
It was quite a big one. There was around 30 to 40 people watching the party.
And then how much gelatin do you bring in for a gelatin party?
We bought 100 kilograms.
Okay, and then you put them where?
We had like a little pool, a little plastic pool in the backyard.
Like a kiddie pool?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, we were wrestling it, and it was so fun.
Coming up.
In the instructions on the gelatin, when we received it, it said when we were done using it, just dump it and put some salt. It said it was biodegradable.
We're back with a dispute between Carrie Bushman and her former tenant Dylan Dubois over a damaged lawn.
All right, so it was super fun, and then this stuff is everywhere because look at that picture. So why didn't you all pick it up?
I mean, in the instructions on the gelatin, when we received it, it said when we were done using it, just dump it and put some salt. It said it was biodegradable.
Okay.
So I do not think it was toxic or it was going to cause any harm to the health of people around.
Why was it so expensive? Like to clean up that, why was it 15?
Mainly because of the mold, Your Honor. It's very dangerous.
Was that the price just for cleanup, or did you resod that whole area?
I resodded just the area that was affected. I did not do the entire yard. I just
Let me see the
resodded-
receipt.
I resodded the area and the cleanup.
Thank you.
And do you have a picture of how it looks now?
I do, Your Honor.
I do as well, Your Honor.
You do?
Yes,
Let me see.
Thank you.
Oh, this is interesting. Wait, is this the resodded area?
Yes, it is.
It's all blurry. I can't even see anything. I realize why you're blurring the people, but why are you blurring the grass? I can't even see. I mean, I don't know if that's just a really out of focus picture. And then did you trespass to take this picture?
No, Your Honor.
When did you take that picture?
Couple of days after I moved in. And I think that's
see.
the reason why she blurred the
So
picture on the
what
right.
you're trying to show is that, it's not like this was
Yeah,
nicely
it's not like,
this wasn't a manicured lawn
exactly,
situation.
Your Honor. That's the reason why she blurred the other picture. It's clearly it's the same.
Do you think? Well, it is kind of blurry. I mean,
Judge Million's verdict when justice for the people returns. Promotional consideration.
that doesn't look so great. Why would that be $1,500?
It's just to cover that one specific
Waste
area.
removal, resod, and labor cost.
Yes, labor.
Right, but see, you have to be sodded well at the beginning to be able to get him to pay for the resod. Certainly, the waste removal the part of this that was waste removal is only $200. Of this receipt that I see, I most definitely think that regardless of the fact that the manufacturer said it was biodegradable, he should have cleaned up after. He shouldn't leave it out there. The cleanup part was $200. That's what I'm going to order him to pay, because I don't find that you've proven to me that the way you handed it to him was well sodded to the tune of $1,500. I am ordering you to pay her $200 for the cleanup.
Judge Million has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $200.
Xin chào tất cả các bạn, chào mừng các bạn đã quay lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau đến với lại bài tập trang số 96, sách giáo khoa toán lớp 1 tập 2 quyển kết nối tri thức nhé. Bạn yêu cầu chúng ta phần 1 tính nhẩm. Tính nhẩm thì cũng rất là dễ thôi. 80 cộng 10. Các bạn ơi, tính nhẩm thật nhanh nhé. 80 cộng 10 đấy, chúng ta có nhẩm 90. 30 cộng 40 thì sao? 70. 60 cộng 20 bằng 80. 90 trừ đi 10 bằng 80. 70 trừ đi 40 sẽ bằng 30. Và cuối cùng chúng ta có 80 trừ đi 20 sẽ bằng 60. Ok. Và bài tập tiếp theo nhé. Đặt tính rồi tính. Mình xóa đi nha. Chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau đặt các phép tính rồi chúng ta sẽ tính nhé. Phép tính thứ nhất 32 cộng 15. Phần này các bạn làm rất là quen thuộc rồi đúng không nào? Kết quả sẽ là 47. 71 cộng 24. 1 cộng 4 là 5. 2 cộng 7 là 9. Kết quả là 95. 40 cộng 39. Chúng ta có 0 cộng 9 bằng 9. 4 cộng 3 bằng 7. Kết quả là 79. 76 trừ đi 42. 6 trừ 2 còn 4. 7 trừ 4 còn 3. Kết quả là 34. 36 trừ 21. Chúng ta có 6 trừ 1 còn 5. 3 trừ 1 còn 2. Kết quả bằng 15. Và cuối cùng với phép tính 47 trừ đi 22. 7 trừ đi 2 bằng 5. trừ đi 2 bằng 2. Kết quả là 25 các bạn nhé. Như vậy là chúng ta đã cùng nhau đi sang bài 1 của phần bài tập trang 96 rồi. Các bài tập còn lại chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau chữa trong các video tiếp theo nhé. Đừng quên ấn like và subscribe để ủng hộ kênh của mình nha.